What if the majority of the people stewarding wealth are not the ones nerding out about it, but a group who has been historically overlooked in the investment conversation?
70 record closing highs. Bitcoin ticks.
What trends are you watching?
More inflationary environment
in a record-setting
really bad for small
position in terms of net.
It was the start of CES,
cutting rates by a quarter point.
An increase in capital gains rate likely among them.
A bubble.
German stock index DAX reached
London's
another
FTSE 100
record.
every tech name was rocking and rolling.
Through venture capitalism hike again.
Want to capture those higher valuations.
The whisper number for core CPI.
Got to be really, really, really careful.
What most people don't know is that women currently, and this was a 2012 statistic, currently own 51% of the wealth. And in the great wealth transfer, it's very well known that women will inherit about 70% of the trillions of dollars changing hands. So that will mean by 2030, it is expected that the women in the United States will own 70% of the wealth. And most people I talk to, women and the ministries that are serving them, have no idea that they'll be talking to her when it comes to asking for the funding that they need or the business that they want from her.
It's time. It's time, finally. You know, we've been sitting on the sidelines in a lot of ways. We can't just sit back and keep waiting for it. It's really important for us to learn more and not be intimidated by, you know, we haven't maybe done this in the past.
Hi, Dana. Come on, we were just talking about you. Were your ears burning?
The reason I felt behind is because I don't have an MBA. I didn't study finance. I came from the international development sector, but not really knowing all the terminologies. And so I felt when I showed up to some of these meetings at first that I was an imposter.
If God has entrusted me with something to give, I need to be working that now. I need to be training now. I need to be learning now. I need to be interacting with women who are ahead of me.
Because if we think faith-driven investments are going to change the world and be a part of what we need to see to solve problems, women who are controlling more than half of the world's wealth have to be involved.
I think most women find their way to women doing well through friends, through people who they trust, who are interested in saying, there's something that's missing. It's usually a sense of, my kids just went to college, or I just had kids, or I just inherited this money and I don't know what to do with it. And it's in a conversation of trust, and someone says, hey, let me invite you into a community where you can talk about this, and it's safe.
How did Women Doing Well start?
There were 4 women who worked at all different executive levels in financially minded ministries. And they saw the growing influence and affluence of women and got really curious why the ministries they were serving with weren't that curious. They separately left their jobs and started praying together about God's heart for women. Like, they decided to do a research project because there had never in the history of the church been a research study on Christian women and giving. And they thought that would be a good place to start, because how do we know what women need if we don't ask them? The research was very clear that women don't want to just give their money. When she knows that she has a unique purpose and she's identified what she cares about enough to sacrifice, and she's put a plan together and takes a step, she's confident. It's game-changing. And so we put together a program based on the research that unpacked a woman's purpose, her passion, and how to have a plan for her generosity. That first event, we knew something different was happening, that God was waking women up to who they were, what they had, and that they had ways that they could help heal the world with their giving.
The Pathway is a learning experience for women who want to learn more about their purpose, their passion, and how to be generous with what God's given them.
And it's designed to kind of lead you along a path of self-discovery.
And then what we like to do is get her going to the next thing. Where is she supposed to go and activate?
All of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I was like, I am with my people. Like, I was in a room full of women that thought generosity was the thing.
I think Women Doing Well's mission is so critical right now. I see women every day who are not really prepared for the wealth that may be coming into their hands. But it starts the conversation about, what are you really living for? And what are you really passionate about? What are the things you care about that break your heart? And then what are you going to do about it?
And so when you're thinking about all those things, One of the ways to activate that is through faith-driven investing. So that partnership is perfect because women who've gone through Women Doing Well are already primed and ready to activate, and faith-driven investing can then take you to the next level of that particular strategy on impact with your generosity journey. But it takes a while to learn the language and the technical skills. This is why we wanted to do the table, because we knew that the on-ramp had been difficult for some of us women. Suzanne Daniels, Michelle Dudley, and I had all kind of talked about that even though we love doing impact investing, we as women kind of had to find our own path, own way into it. And so we wanted to make it easier. So we thought, why don't we just start with an introductory course where no questions off the table, and so we'll go through the terminology, we'll go through the basic concepts, and then we'll do a real live investment into several companies. So we started with 34 women, each putting in $10,000. So we had $340,000 worth of capital to invest.
We met weekly and we just learned. And we learned and we heard from each other about their experiences. I think it was just a way for us all to show up vulnerably, to say, I'm not quite sure I understand this, but I really want to get involved.
No question was dumb. We made that clear from the beginning.
Every meeting there was a pitch deck. Probably, I think we had like 2 to 3 pitches each time, and it was pretty fast moving. You know, I'm a CPA, so I kind of understand numbers, and it was fast moving. For somebody that maybe didn't, it might have been overwhelming, but they were so gracious and saying like, hey, no big deal, ask the questions, and they would send all their information.
Out of the 8 companies that pitched, we decided on 5. Various amounts for those 5 companies. But so now we'll have the joy of watching over the next coming years some of that capital coming back and some impact as well.
I think a lot of women's eyes were just opened. We had people like along the spectrum, people who had never heard really about impact investing and had no idea what it was, to people who had, you know, a few decades of experience in what they may not have called impact investing, but was in fact impact investing. And so it was really nice to have all of those women in the same Zoom room. You can't get enough of that practical experience. I mean, the way that you become a good investor, especially in these types of situations, is from experience. And so you just have to get started. It's encouraged me to take more steps. And actually, I'm in the process right now of making my first kind of more significant direct investment, which is really fun. And I feel like it's a lot as a result of the confidence that I got from participating in the table.
Once you learn something, you don't want to just move forward on your own. And so Michelle has been very intentional to invite other women within the Women Doing Well community, within the city of Charlotte, and within her friend network to learn with her and to share her learnings about faith-driven investing and how she has moved forward in order to give them the confidence to go forward as well.
What I hope for the ministry in the next 5 to 10 years is that we have more and more and more women who feel confident in who they are, what they have, and how to unlock what they have. That will be something that's joyful to them, not as a duty. That they feel that they are equipped in the language of activating their resources to make the world better.
Too often we're relying on the markets and what has been the conventional wisdom of our time to do our investing, whether it's a financial advisor who's investing things for us or if we're investing in mutual funds. We really don't know what we're investing in and what the impact those investments are having in the world.
Women love to do things together, and we actually access more of our heart that way, which is great for our giving. So I tell people, you want your women to do stuff together because it actually gets more exciting and more vibrant and more generous that way.
It's not just 1 and 1 equals 2. It's 1 plus 1 equals whatever, a harvest, a bountiful harvest. So I've experienced that. There's the joy of not only learning from the people you're partnering with, but the joy of seeing even more fruit coming out of those relationships. A community that's not only just learning, doesn't stay in the knowledge phase, it goes into the action phase. They're actually knowing, doing, and becoming more generous, which I think is really what sanctification is all about.